right, and welcome. Hello there, and welcome to the Hyperspace Heroes podcast. Guys, this is the first time for us live ever, and also sitting in the same room. Normally we're in each other's, I shouldn't say each other's, but usually we're broadcasting from our wives' basements. And, when they're gracious enough to give us a couple hours a week to talk Star Wars. But yeah, welcome to Hyperspace Heroes podcast. I'm Brown Leader checking in. Who else do we have?
Got Brown 3 reporting in.
Got Brown 4 checking in.
All right, guys. Well, welcome. Like I said, first ever. We're live at ICCC. I'd like to say thank you to the ECPCTV crew for putting all this on. Thank you guys very much. This is an awesome experience. This has been a great weekend. It's Sunday. It's the third day of the conference. We have had 2 full days to kind of wander around and do things. So just kind of wanted to get your guys' initial thoughts on what first time we've ever been here. So what are your guys' thoughts on the conference?
Wow. Oh, that's not going to fill 15 minutes, is it?
It's not.
Oh, sorry.
No, you got to do
Sorry,
a little more.
I'm still a little starstruck. We're up here on a stage, and we've never done this in front of an audience. And I probably haven't done this since I was in, high school plays. Oh, good Lord, no.
Well, in that case, podcast is over. We're going to see you guys.
We're out of here. And I was just about ready to bring up the Katie Kasakos stand-in.
Yeah, and my second thought is this is being streamed live with video, and we have faces made for podcasts, so it's kind of disturbing.
So guys, after 2 full days of walking around, even you guys feeling old yet? Because I know I've been, and
I'm on my second batch of ibuprofen of the day, and it's only 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
absolutely.
This was a lot easier 20 years ago. But 20 years ago, I was going to corporate cons that did not have the intimacy and just the general pleasantness of this con. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this.
Right. So being a collector, and you guys are both the collectors of the crew, what has been in terms of, have you had any great finds? What do you think about this all being collector-centric in terms of the show?
Thanks for helping me spend my money earlier. A wind-up gonk droid that I just did not know I couldn't live my life without.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And DB, what about you?
I've picked up some parts I needed for some ships, a few figures I needed to round out my original collection. I could easily spend far more than I've spent so far.
The day's still young.
We need gas money to get home. Sorry.
Good point.
And that's why I brought the hybrid. We get good mileage. I'm good.
Well,
You're not helping.
I'm not leaving my car here.
Keep spending your money.
I am not leaving my car here.
No, it's really it's a heaven for collectors. There's such a variety, so many different things. And I'm going to hit the sales floor when we're done here because I have not made it all the way through. So you guys can help me spend the rest of my money.
Oh, I will.
But, just this morning we're on the floor and, who walked up and said hi but Clem So, one of the actors. And we had been speaking to him the other day. And I didn't see him, but you guys saw somebody else out on the floor.
Yeah, just walking the floor. All of a sudden, Anthony Daniels just went walking through. And, of course, I wasn't set up. I've been doing a lot of live streaming this weekend, and which is a first for me. And, of course, I was going to do a nice video of the tour of the floor, and I didn't have my equipment set up, and I could have gotten that in the footage, which is kind of a bummer. But other than the Scruffy, other than the wind-up gonk droid, what have you had any surprises? Any things that you found on the floor that?
Well, this is live streaming right now, so somebody may be listening. So no, I didn't find anything else. No, fortunately, the wife is super supportive of the whole collecting thing. But yeah, I found a few more gonk droids for the gonk army. A couple stormtroopers, just a couple miscellaneous parts and stuff that I really needed to kind of wind up the collection. And
you got that Falcon training ball, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
You've been looking for that for a long time.
Training ball and arm. We won't talk about what we spent there, but hey, I have it now, and it's one more step to being closer to being complete.
We've adopted a new slogan. What happens in Nashville stays in Nashville. Our wives don't need to know what we're spending, so.
I will remind you we're live right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shoot.
All right, moving on.
Moving on, please.
DB, have you found anything that you didn't expect to run into when you were walking the floor?
Not walking the floor, but again, I was setting out a bench out front the other morning, and who came out and sat down next to me but one of the actors, Clem Sewing, just struck up a conversation with me, and I thought, that's incredible. Or we saw Julian Glover walking down the hall.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's a good segue. And, one of the things I think I've been really surprised about this whole thing is just the level of connectivity to not just the people that are here featured in the show, but the connectivity to just other fans and just other, there's a whole different vibe to this show than if you go to one of the larger ones, one of the more corporate-based ones. But I will say, Mike, I'm a little disappointed. There's no T-Mobile booth. We talked about that in our episode with you, and I thought you were just teasing us, but I get here and there's really no T-Mobile booth. So kind of bummed on that. But
I needed new car insurance and I needed a new cell phone.
Exactly.
And guys, we want to be invited back next year, so be careful. No, Mike Havens is fantastic. Can't say enough about him. And he promised us there was wonderful pie in the VIP room. And my mission right now, I've had a little bit, but I'm going to get my $500 worth of pie.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes,
He did
yeah.
not oversell that. It's great.
Right. And not just Mike, but the whole crew. Everybody, whether you're dealing with security, whether you're dealing with just the other cast and crew, it's just been wonderful. Everybody's been pleasant. It's got a great feel to it.
Yeah, shout out to the hotel. The crew here at the hotel is doing an awesome job.
Yeah.
The resort complex as a whole, they are doing an awesome job.
And yeah, especially putting up with 5,000 crazy people like us. They're taking care of us and dealing with the ICCC crew. And I'm going to follow up on Brown Leader there that everybody who is running this, whether it's volunteers or Mike's staff, they're fantastic. Anytime there's a bump in the road, they fix it immediately, and you don't see that at other cons.
So, are there any other things that have kind of stood out to you in terms of things you've just come across in the show? Not necessarily collecting, but just anything in general about the atmosphere, anything you've just walking the floor.
Not just walking the floor, walking the hallways. I have met face to face with several people I've interacted with on the IC website or Facebook pages. I actually met the guy I made my very first purchase from a year or two ago, and ran into him and bought something else from him. But he had good deals. But I've come across people that I've seen their names and I've commented on their stuff and vice versa. And it's like so awesome to see these people in person. They're not just a random name out there.
Yeah, the room sales have been awesome. A little heartbreaking. Half the stuff I brought down is gone. I'm not sure how I feel about that right now because, didn't really want to sell it anyway, but it's gone. It's gone to a good home, I hope.
So
You've upgraded to things you wanted, though.
I wanted it all. That's why I bought it.
So that's another good part. Room sales. So you've been doing room sales, Scruffy, up in your room, and we'll be open again tonight, correct?
Yes, we will.
For anybody else, and that room number is?
4059.
So if you're looking for a good time,
Go to
Whoa, keep it
4059.
PG. We're live.
Star Wars related good time, 4059.
Still keep it PG.
Yeah.
You listening, Mrs. Scruffy?
But actually, the room sale portion has been very cool because again, talking about the networking, we've run into other fellow podcasters walking through. DB, you mentioned the just the various people from IC on the Facebook groups, and it's just been fun making those connections and matching the names to the face. We met Force Dyad, one of the members of Force Dyad last night. He came into your room to, they were looking for some stuff. We've gotten connected with, Rule the Galaxy, which was here all weekend. We, twittered back and forth from time to time, but never really met anybody. And so it's been a great, from a podcasting experience, it's been great because we're, definitely making connections through everything. But I wanted to mention, so one of the things that I walking across the floor today of all days, one of the little unexpected surprises was I was standing there trying to get the social caught up on some things, and those little what I feel are some of the stars of the show are those Jawas that have been running around.
Those guys are awesome.
In the lobby. They have been fantastic. So I'm sitting there just leaning against the wall on my phone and trying to get social caught up, like I said, and they come walking up to me, and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? And they've got a whoopee cushion, and they're just all of a sudden they're like handing it to me, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, do you want me to blow this up? And they start jumping, and they're clapping and clapping and clapping for me to blow it up. And I'm thinking, okay, is this a prank or what? Looking for the camera, and just, but no, sure enough, they were super excited. I blew it up for them. They took it off somewhere else onto the floor, and I heard it go off a little bit later. And, but yeah, no, it was really funny. It was, those little Jawas have been, to me, one of the highlights of the show.
They're a hoot. All the cosplayers, all you gotta do is say, hey, can I? And they're willing to do a selfie right here.
Mm-hmm.
And again, going back to the connectivity of this place, if you can't do or don't want to do a selfie, somebody jumps right in and says, hey, let me take that for you. How many times have we had pictures taken by a complete stranger? So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, one of the other things that has been very cool is the I don't know where I was going with that thought. All right, moving on. Any other last thoughts before we move on from talking about the?
Oh, I had a
Kissing
thought, but I think
everybody's-
you stole it and lost it. So.
Probably. So, one of the last, I know what I was going to say. One of the last surprises that for us and for our listeners of the show that follow along on a regular basis is we did finally locate Doug Rebo.
Oh, yes, we did.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. So we found Doug Rebo. For those of you that are present and don't know what's going on, so we have a theory that we've been pushing for quite some time for everyone that's seen Book of Boba and saw Mr. Rebo that has returned to the to Tatooine and Garsa Fwip's sanctuary.
It's not.
It's not Max. It's not him. It really isn't. How could you escape the sail barge in that explosion? So
I love that we have a whole audience here we can indoctrinate into
I
this.
know, right? So we've been pushing this theory, and we're not going to stop until we're done. But one of the theories we have on the show is that is not really Max. That is Doug. That's his evil twin brother, and you can tell because there's a dent on the left ear, and he was always jealous growing up in Max's shadow. Max always got the good gigs. He was the better musician, and so when he saw his chance to take his place, he did, and. Sure enough, the reason Garza called him Max in the episode, again, just continuing the conspiracy,
Cover.
is that it was just cover and that she was in on it. So when the explosion happened, it was really just a big insurance claim on the sanctuary, and they're now retired, living on the insurance money on a beach at Naboo. But we finally caught up to him. He thought he could get away coming in the show, and I think we're going to have to bring him back to
Bring him to
pay for his
justice.
crimes. Yeah, exactly. But no, that was kind of the last big surprise we had here at the show.
Yeah, no.
But
I hear he has his own Twitter account too, so be careful.
yeah,
the real Doug Rebo.
at real Doug Rebo. So the panels yesterday, segueing into something.
Panels were awesome.
Yeah. So we sat in on the Ian McDermott and the Anthony Daniels panels.
Yeah, do
And-
not ask him how he goes to the bathroom in the stage.
Yeah.
Poor
not-
Tim.
Yeah, poor Tim. But, it's already, within hours, it was already all over the Twitter and any Star Wars-related internet-based social site. But Ian McDermott's comment about he said that comment about there's a certain show coming out where he's not in it, but it's during a time period where he's active, and that his
What'd he say?
presence will be
Presence
filled.
would
Yeah.
be felt. That's
So initial thoughts on, there's 2 shows coming out this year yet that would be during that time period. So initial thoughts, I mean, it's easy to say it's going to be Obi-Wan, but what are your thoughts on it being Andor?
Why couldn't it be both?
That's possible, but he kind of, was focused singular on a show, but
I think the logical direction to go is Obi-Wan. I mean, who's
That's why
Obi-Wan's nemesis is Vader.
That's
so
why I think it's going to be Andor.
Why you got to pick a fight with me?
Because I always do.
Man.
So expand upon that, Scruffy. Why do you think it's going to be Andor?
Because I'm picking a fight with Dry Bait.
It's got to be
No,
more than just that reason.
Hey, how was the last episode of Picard?
Really? You're going to go there? All right. We're moving on from the start.
Any other questions, Brown Leader?
No, I want to hear why you think it
I think
could be Andor.
well, he's obviously has a bigger presence during that time, the beginning of the empire. And I just think that there's going to be more to just the base of the show than just the Andor piece. And there's going to be those main characters making an appearance, and I think there's some kind of a surprise there that's going to catch us off guard, because we all come to expect a certain thing, but there's always a surprise there, and I think we're going to get that surprise, and I think it's going to be something we'll do with the Emperor.
Okay, I'll bite. I got nothing. That was very well thought out.
So you just wanted to bring up the Picard thing.
I just wanted to bring up the Picard thing.
Okay.
You're right. Oh, we're good.
All right.
So
No, when Ian McDermott was on stage yesterday, he was fantastic. All the cons I've ever been to, I've never seen him. And I actually got to see him through plexiglass about this thin yesterday too. But
That's what you're bitter about. Okay.
I am bitter about that, but it's understandable. They do have plexi when you get the photos with the two big stars. But it is what it is. We got to see them both getting autographs. We got to see them on stage, which actually was my third or fourth time seeing Anthony Daniels, and he's a hoot every single time. He's fantastic.
That was an awesome panel.
Yeah, I could have sat there for another hour when we were there for 2. So
I don't know. My back was starting to get a little sore in those chairs.
well,
I don't know if
that's because you're old.
I don't know if Tim could have sat there for another hour listening to that.
Poor
that
Tim.
That poor guy.
Okay, so let's deviate. I'm going to take a complete left turn here onto a new subject, which is I want to go to get some conversation going. We're going to be doing a episode with another podcast called not Rule the Galaxy, Duel of the Ranks. They're some millennials that have been coming up in the podcast world. They are very harsh, or not harsh, but they give hard physical numbers to their review episodes, and I've been listening to them a lot lately, and I sent them a message to see if they want to come on the show, and we're going to do an episode with them later in May. But one key point that I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that they feel is a lazy storytelling technique was the inhibitor chip that was activated during Order 66. So do you feel that it's a lazy storytelling technique, or do you feel that it's a little more, or it's a good storytelling technique?
It's a good storytelling technique. How are you going to control that many people without something there to control them with? There has to be something that triggers the Order 66 command. I don't find it to be lazy at all. It's kind of something I somewhat expected. I thought it was great, but
Well, my answer is find me a better plot device.
Excellent. I would love to hear.
And
that
I
answer.
say that out of a place of laziness because I can't think of one. But seriously, I thought it was a great plot device.
Right. I think part of their argument was that it was, with seeing all the different personalities that came out, and they would have liked to have seen where the clones were. The reason that they changed was because that's just who they were as clones. But my thought is that the inhibitor chip is such a perfect storytelling technique because with 7 seasons of Clone Wars, you got so much expansion. But you know what? We're not going to talk on that right now because I'm going to save that for them when we do that episode. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
You'll have to
now.
tune in.
So, but no, we're going to wrap things up here at ICCC. And we'd like to, again, thank everybody for attending and listening. And we'd like to thank everybody for just coming to the conference and interacting with us. So let's get out of here, guys. And
Hey, let's thank this live studio audience for putting up with us.
yeah.
Thank you.
They're not clapping because we're good. They're clapping because we're done.
Right, exactly. Good point. So you know what?
Hey, they're clapping, and I'm happy about it.
We'll take it either way, really.
Let's sign out then, like we normally do. And
All right, let's try and get it right because we're live.
no, that's half the fun. All right, so this is Brown Leader signing off for Hyperspace Heroes. If you ever listen to our show, all right, this is
you
Brown
guys?
Leader signing off for Hyperspace Heroes. Ready? That's no moon.
You got it.
This summer, saddle up in Smashville as the Music City hosts the hottest party of the summer, WWE SummerSlam Nashville. For the first time ever at Nissan Stadium, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, a whole lot of kick-ass. WWE SummerSlam, Saturday, July 30th. Tickets on sale now.